welcome to the Mythos Mystery Society. Today we find ourselves on the second floor master bedroom playing a game of Delta Green. Everyone go around, say your name and your character's name and pronouns. We'll start with Maria.
Oh, hello. My name's Maria. I use they and she pronouns. I can be found on the internet at Happy Capster. And tonight I am revising Dawn Slick, who uses she and her pronouns and is a freelance ghost puncher.
I forgot that was...
Yep. I have on the character sheet self-employed ghost puncher, but I think she's branching out, I will pass it over to Dave.
Hello, I am Dave. I will be playing Kenny Morgan, the dorky hacker who used to work at a game company that was making games for the military, but then suddenly he got pulled into Delta Green for something that we might go over later at some point. He goes by he, him, and so do I, and I believe that's all I have to say. So I'll throw it down to Kaya.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaya Gasson. I will be playing Molly Hodgins. I am a meteorologist of sorts. So I have no idea what's going on because I just built her today. So
You knew.
She, hers, all around. Me and my mood lighting. Ty.
And I am Ty. I'm your handler this evening, and I use he, him pronouns. We are picking up this game. It's been about a year and a half since the events of Music from a Darkened Room, as there was a pandemic nationally, and there was not a lot of Delta Green operations going on. So when we resume, it is the year 2022. There is a new sense of normalcy. People still wear masks, but are out and about. It is early spring. Weather is just about cresting hoodie weather in the Midwest, where this game will take place. Each of you, the three of you, received communications through the usual channels that there is going to be an operation in Chicago that each of you would be required to be a part of. It would take place in 36 hours for a debrief, and you were given an address. What do each of your characters look like, and what are they doing when they receive this message in their personal lives?
So Kenny, for the past year and a half, has at the end of the last operation, he kind of tried to take more risks and be try to live his life, because he's seen that maybe it doesn't work out. If you wait too long, you might lose something. So he did try to talk to the girl he had a crush on and everything, and it went well for a while. They dated for maybe about a year, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. So now that's it's not that it's a burned bridge, but it's definitely an awkward bridge. And with that, he did end up getting a job at a different company that makes horror games, so he kind of vents a little bit of his frustration, or his it's just a way to kind of cope. But he's also been making a game for Marshmallow back at Delta Green HQ in that time, and I want to say it's getting close to completion. That's what his side gig is. And I guess he's at work when he gets, you said a text or...
It's usual channels. So it could be an email, a text, however you are usually contacted. Pager,
I want to
whatever.
say it's like a separate phone that I keep on me.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I want to say it's the phone I always use for everything, but it's a hacked phone, so I know that it's kind of a safe channel to go through. And it's probably also had some Delta Green stuff installed on it to make sure it's a safe channel that goes through it. They probably see everything I talk about it. But yeah, I probably get a text during a meeting about some sort of thing that we've been going in circles about in this game. We've talked about it for months now, and we just can't figure out what we want to do with it. So Kenny's kind of starting to get rolling his eyes, and then all of a sudden he sees that, he's like, I will fight monsters as opposed to be in another meeting about this fucking thing. And just mid-meeting, he holds up the phone and just goes like that and just kind of walks out.
Nice. What about Dawn?
Dawn had been doing kind of their own thing. They had kind of gone on a bit of a occult quest after the strangeness that happened in the Spooner Avenue house. And I think along the way, maybe got a little distracted or a little bored. One of those two things probably happened, and kind of started doing like a road trip, quote unquote, to kind of one, see if there's any other weird occulty things that have been happening, but two, to lend their services out to those, you know, who need a little bit of muscle behind their ghost hunting shenanigans. And I think they were probably in the middle of one of these like contracted positions, just were not having it as well. Similar situation to Kenny. And we're, you know, maybe in the middle of the night, they're about to go into this just really weird house in the middle of the woods. And she gets an email that has all the information and everything on it. And she holsters both of her guns back in their places, and without even telling the people who are walking into the house, she turns around, gets in her car, and leaves.
Excellent. And Molly.
Molly is in the middle of Arkansas at the moment. Currently chasing down one of these mile-wide tornadoes in the supercell that she's been going after. However, this one seems a little bit different. She's kind of new to the Delta Green, and has just recently kind of understood what is going on, and thinking that there might be other things possibly behind these storms. But she is in the thick of it, and probably a little bit closer than she should. She's with her fiance, Chloe, and when she gets a call, and when she answers it, it is extremely loud as the wind is whipping, and she's holding a camera in one hand, and essentially just bugs out, grabs her bag, gives her fiance a kiss, and heads on up to wherever they told her to go. Hopefully she's able to do some good.
Fantastic. You all arrive at the appointed time the next day. It is closer to the evening, and you all in your individual vehicles pull up at the hollow remains of what was a Chuck E. Cheese formerly.
I land my biplane.
On top of the Chuck E. Cheese.
Coming in hot.
They don't have a landing pad. Please roll. It is very dimly lit inside. You do see, as you begin to enter, you see a fairly tall man with stark white hair and beard, prematurely white for what it seems to be his relatively young age, wearing a pair of mirrored shades, aviators. And he has a table in front of him, in front of the band, the pizza band, which is decommissioned, with a manila folder and a cell phone. And he greets you all. What do each of you look like as he looks down this lineup?
Kenny probably, like, I want to say over time, like, it seemed like at first he wore brighter hoodies when he was more of a brighter person, but just over time he's just worn darker and darker hoodies to the point where now he's got like a black hoodie with like a black shirt of, I guess you could say the logo of the company he works for, which I am wearing a Puppet Combo shirt right now, which is kind of funny and fitting. But like he's got like a company shirt on under, probably a company logo hoodie too, but it's just like a darker hoodie than usual, and he's got like black pants on and just like normal shoes. His shoes are actually the brightest thing of his clothing that he has on. It's like red shoes or something like that. And I want to say Kenny just sits down immediately because he's used to this shit and kind of eager to get back into this because he was actually good at this.
Dawn is about 6 feet tall. Her hair is considerably shorter than it was. It wasn't ever long, but instead of it being swooshed to the side, it's kind of more of a pixie cut. Still wears shades, still dresses in almost entirely in black, a suit, but made out of exceptionally stretchy, you know, I won't say Kevlar because that's a little too much, but, you know, practical and also very professional looking. and doesn't barely smiles. But seeing Kenny, there's like a small hint of what could be a reflection of a smile on her face when she sees Kenny.
It's more like morbid recognition on Kenny's face when he sees you, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, okay, I've worked with you before."
And she'll sit down if there's a chair.
Yeah.
Even if there's just not a chair next to Kenny, she will take the chair that is closest to her and spin it around and kind of straddle it and sit like right next to Kenny. There's like 6 inches between the two of them.
I lean over to Dawn and just like, "You don't have to sit like that in front of me. I'm not a teen." Because she got the chair and the...
Yeah.
We're going to talk about drugs, kids.
But like, it's not in front of you. It's not like eye to eye.
I get into the chair like Riker, where I just like step over it weirdly. No, Kenny doesn't do that. He's not tall enough.
Tips it over. Well, Molly is 5'6". She's very scrawny. She is wearing 100% a button-up, bright-colored Hawaiian shirt that she has tied to try and fit her. It looks like definitely something she has probably picked up from not her closet. And a pair of ripped jeans and some heavy hiking boots with her glasses on. And she kind of looks around at Dawn and Kenny and goes, Did I miss an email? Am I dressed okay?
I just kind of look at you, just like,
Who are you?
I remember being like that. I don't say that, but just that's what I'm thinking. It's more overly dramatic in Kenny's head than it actually ever is in his real life.
Sorry. I guess Dr. Molly Hodgins?
Oh, hang on. I'm Kenny Morgan.
Kenny?
What
And silent type. I like it. Very stoic. I think you're really cool. You're probably going to be the one to follow, aren't you?
Who are you? What do you do?
Which one do you want me to answer first?
You can answer them in whatever order you feel like.
I'm Dr. Molly Hodgins. I'm a meteorologist.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Oh, dear?
Kenny accidentally passes judgment because you think that it's weird that she's a meteorologist, but you're a fucking ghost puncher. It's just like...
I feel like I missed a joke.
I turn back to the person who's
Handler. Yes, the handler is watching you guys all talk to one another.
Is this
says, no.
the normal handler, by the way?
It's the same handler, yes, as
Okay.
always.
The way you described him, he sounded kind of horrifying. But I think it was more so the setting that added to that.
No, he looks the same. Still has the same white hair and beard. Looks to be in about his 30s.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah, pretty much. Hair a little longer parted. And he says, yes, your clothes are entirely appropriate. It's up to you what you wear at Delta Green. There is not an official outfit of any sort.
Well, I heard Delta Green and I just assumed...
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Don probably looks the most official out of all of us, and I just kind of pull my hoodie. I'm like...
Well, thank you all for your prompt arrival. I'll cut right to the chase today. The mission you all are here for, there is a certain recreational drug that has resurfaced recently. We have heard reports of. The street name is called Reverb. It was very popular in the 90s in the rave scene. It's called Reverb.
I feel like this is a genetic opera thing.
Popular in the 90s. That makes it so ancient. Kenny, the fucking 90s. Millennial.
We did send a team out there to investigate it way back when, but their investigation turned up almost nothing. The drug pretty much disappeared as quickly as it came, so there's not actually a ton of information on it. But the reports did indicate that users came to contact with the unnatural when using it. Beyond that, we have little else to go on here, but there have been assorted reports of it being used in this area as of late.
You said that the users came in contact with the unnatural, like when they.
That is the report. Yes, users of the drug have come into contact with the unnatural after using it.
Like as a hallucination, or like?
I
They
believe.
sure
well,
they're just not tripping on some really good LSD?
Well, it does have a hallucinogenic effect apparently, but the descriptors were all very similar.
What were those descriptors?
Those descriptors were seeing odd sights, more than just like dreamlike, or the odd things that seem to be what we would call here classified.
As somebody who's like looked into stuff because he was into his job pretty well, is like like nightmare opium, or like what a. Like, well, I mean, seeing shit, or
I mean, there was reports of seeing shit, and some people did have gone missing since using it, reported users. But as I said, it's not like we have a first witness testimony or anything. It's just kind of rumors and the occasional odd report, friend of a friend.
Is there a person we could go to maybe get some?
Roll bureaucracy.
Ooh, I just got a little bit better at that. 76 out of 61, I failed.
Yeah, he says, I mean, if we had easy access to the drug, we would have started you all off there, but we don't have, any sort of contact that can provide us with it. Otherwise, we would have it by now. We don't know how to get it. If you find it somehow, there's probably a friendly in the area that could help you analyze it. And he grabs the burner phone and types a number in.
Oh, what's the number for?
The number is for Archibald Cram, who is a scientist.
Archibald Cram!
Cram. I know I'm relatively new to this, but with the drug hitting the streets and the sounds that there are strange occurrences, are there any... kind of my specialty. Are there any omens, or are there any fluctuations in temperature or atmospheric pressure anywhere in the areas that might maybe hone in on some activity?
Well, that is currently not any information I have any knowledge of it doing, but if you notice anything, that would be mighty useful.
Ooh, I brought my tools.
Very good. As previously stated, we have very little to go on the actual drug itself.
Is there an area that it tends to circulate in? Well,
it was popular in the rave kind of party scene, and you are all in downtown Chicago now.
What exactly is our objective?
As per usual, the objective here is to determine if this is a supernatural occurrence, if it is contain the circumstance, the occurrence. Make sure to limit any sort of evidence and witnesses.
When you say limit,
0 is the ideal.
By
I'll leave that in your capable hands if you think that's necessary.
Last time we had to limit something, we jumped into a portal to a different kind of dimension thing. There was the house that tried to eat us.
That's not even counting the time we had to burn down Yellowstone.
I missed that one.
Delta Green.
That was you?
Yeah. There was, it was like I'm not going to get into it right here.
Okay.
Something about these ghost people trying to eat clones. It had to be done. They were killing people. The whole park had to go. Just you do what you got to do. Delta Green.
Right.
So those are your mission parameters. Any evidence you find, please bring back to us. Any other questions or anything else I can provide you all with?
Are there any other... You go ahead, Kenny.
You sure? Okay. I was going to say, what was the last known report? Do you know where the last known report would have happened? Is there a specific rave that maybe we heard about the last time this happened? As
I think
I don't know anything about raves in real life. I'm just gonna be so fucking out of my element here. What about the rave like? What even is?
I know. I mean, it has. I mean, you have access to your fancy tech. I mean, that you can look up any sort of
fancy
kind of
tech. Do you mean the fact that I am Gen Z?
yeah. There goes that talk again. Can't understand a word of it.
Hashtag
Relatable content.
relatable generational gaps.
But any sort of, I mean, if you look at, any sort of club in the area that might have any sort of drug scene or heavy party scene, that would be a good place to start. More raves.
Is there a big concert coming up? Maybe we can go there. Lollapalooza's coming up.
Well, it's Aprilish, May. It's a little bit, but yeah, I mean, there's probably some concerts going on. There's plenty of places you can search. I don't have them on hand, but you got the Google, as the kids say.
Yeah, we got
I don't think you can find raves on the Google.
Everyone uses duck answers nowadays. What is it called? Duckster? What's the new thing? Everybody's using it.
DuckDuckGo.
That's the one. Everybody's using DuckDuckGo now, old man.
I used to
is
love
that
my
really
old
a
Jeeves.
thing?
Let me tell you about Ask Jeeves. He was a gentleman, a scholar, and he knew everything I asked him.
On the topic of asking things, are there any other operatives that we should know about who may be also involved? We don't want another Swooner Avenue.
Oh, you mean like someone who had gone in there previously? No, the agents who investigated this in the 90s have all reported back and since retired or been retired.
Ominous. Excellent.
Yes.
Last question. So you did say that the contents of this drug was deemed classified. Is that because you're afraid that it's something that you've created and let out?
No, the contents of the drug aren't classified. The effects that they were having, some of the things the users saw are classified. Not the contents of the drug itself. I don't know what those are.
And what they've seen, is it like a security compromise? And I feel like if we knew a little bit of what we've seen, what they've seen, maybe we could have like a little bit of a breadcrumb of where to start. Maybe it's locational.
Is it in the ghost or phantom or specter? Which of those three categories?
I would say past supernatural occurrences, other things we have files on.
I look at Dawn with a smiling face and just, aliens.
I'll like
Somewhere
lean over.
mustache twinges.
I'll lean over to Kenny, and for the first time, I think you see Dawn's eyes as she looks over her glasses. She says, "Do not start that with me."
Molly will just lean in. There's aliens.
If you ask certain people,
If you ask someone
swear
first and
everything
last
is.
names.
Well, I mean, you did ask a second ago about other operatives. Several other operatives of Delphi Green are on a simultaneous mission, but not in this state.
That might be important if we need
related?
to. Are they contacts of ours that we can get in contact with in case we need to?
I absolutely cannot get in contact with them. No.
That is unfortunate. Comparing and contrasting information seems a little bit important, but you know best, of course, as the handler.
Well, these two scenarios might be somewhat related, might not, but I think once we have y'all's initial investigation reports, we will debrief from there.
They go beyond the borders of Chicago, or
there's another op happening in Kansas simultaneously.
and so this drug has popped up in multiple areas.
We don't think it's the same. No, these reports and the other op is slightly different. Otherwise, we would inform you. It's enough to where we think they might be. There's a chance they could be related, but aren't the same.
Is it like maybe it's a drug and then some creature maybe that?
I think that's what we're here to find out.
Okay, I guess it's just.
What was your name again?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Molly.
Oh, all right. Well, that's kind of what we're here to figure out. What is happening?
I was just trying to see if I can glean any other clues, considering they've given us the span of an entire city, and not a small one at that, to find a drug that may or may not make people have paranormal experiences.
Rick, that's usually about what you get here.
Is there any way we can set up a network that, with the other agents on other missions, that if we find things that we think might relate to their missions, we can tell them?
You can relay that information to me, and I will try my best to.
You know I like relaying information to you, handler.
No, I know you do. Looks sad. Is there anything else? Fantastic. Well, the old trailblazers out front. Anyone who could drive if you need a communal vehicle, and report back whenever you got anything. And he slides you the phone and the very slim manila envelope, which has nearly nothing in it.
I will take the envelope and I'll slide the phone over to Kenny.
Cool. I'll take it.
Do you want me to drive?
Yes.
Word.
They usually make me drive. I hate driving. It's so stressful.
I drive all the time. Constantly
Cool.
chasing.
I'll toss the keys to you.
Got him. We're good. We're good.
How old is Molly again?
Molly is in her early 30s.
Fantastic. Oh, Kenny's the baby.
I've always been the baby.
Kenny's the
I'm
big
baby.
now.
It is me. I'm baby.
It's me. I'm the baby.
Good.